break-offs. No matter what rainbow uniform you wear, red, white, purple and white, uh, 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 all white, it don't matter. You should all treat the ISUPK like your weird, misunderstood Sabbaths. You shouldn't do anything until you counsel with the ISUPK. We'll tell you when and what to eat. We'll tell you who to marry. We'll tell you who to have sex with and how. We'll tell you how to resolve conflicts with your wives. We'll tell you how to resolve conflicts with your kids, your brothers, your sisters, your parents, your friends, everybody. We'll tell you when and how to pray. We'll tell you how to direct your life in a way that's pleasing to the Most High God of Israel and our Black King Yahushua, aka Jesus Christ. We will be to you instead of a God. Just like the Most High told Moses in Exodus 4:16 that Aaron would be to him instead of a mouth and he would be to Aaron instead of a God, that's what we'll do for you. It is what you all need because none of you know what the fuck you are doing. I pray you understand. Shalom.
You mean everything to me because I know you mean everything to Christ. And Christ means everything to me.
I called on the Lord. I said, that Father, this is real. Will you watch over me? Will you raise them up to be strong? I'm just a man with flesh. This is what you call for in your scriptures. You said they wore studs and fringes, they got it on. You said they will follow the law, they doing it. You said under Yahushua they ought to love one another, and they doing it.
All right. Let everybody put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Everybody put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me, or let me know if I can be heard real well. All right. All right. Can you hear me real well? Shalom, Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Brakatah, to all the brothers. Shalom, Yahweh, Shamar, Latah, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, to the sisters. This is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under Commanding General Yohana. This is the Dallas School, the Brotherhood class coming at you. And want to know if y'all can hear me, just put a 1 in the chat. Shalom to all y'all that are watching in the comments or will watch afterwards. Be sure to keep liking and sharing and subscribing so even people that haven't got this truth yet get some edification. Because one thing that's for sure, even our people that hate the hell out of what we do, they don't really hate us. They just want us to co-sign their nonsense, the nonsense they learned at church. And we're not going to ever do that because what they learned in the church is not the truth. And what they learned in the church is exactly why we are destroyed as a people. Shalom, brothers. You can hear me? Good. Excellent. All right, then. Today, what we're going to get into is, the Brotherhood class in Dallas. And I'm going into why it is necessary to have good leadership and why Brotherhood will let you comply to leadership if that leadership is of the Most High. You know what I'm saying? We among Israelites, Blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, we have a hard time hearing the truth from our people and look for any reason to destroy our people. what happened a couple of days ago over there in Shreveport, Louisiana, makes me sick. This brother going out his mind, killing 8 kids, 7 of which were his, and shooting both his baby mothers. That was a sick thing to do, and it was a sick thing to even hear about. But one thing we do know is, while our hearts are with the families of those who lost their loved ones, we know that happened only because we're in this captivity. You know what I'm saying? We're still under the rule of the other nations, in particular the so-called white man, and us not having our culture and being told by the church and by just American culture just to go further and further away from laws and morality. That's why you have a brother who go and do something this sick and mad, killing 8 kids that ain't did nothing to him. You know what I'm saying? Now this is what made that whole thing sick. Is that's beast behavior. That's the behavior of the other nations. You know what I'm saying? Israel is not. We don't roll like that. We don't kill our kids, and we have more compassion for our children and our families. You know what I'm saying? So how this ties into tonight's class is, you get good leadership just among our people, the 12 tribes of Israel, and good leaders will bring morality back. But you can't turn on your leadership. We got a bloody history, our people, of it's all over the Bible of us turning on our leadership, and we're gonna read. We're gonna do a little bit reading into that in a little bit. But leadership has to be earned, and it's got to be had by people who's willing to do the work. You know what I'm saying? We in the ISUPK, we do that work. You know what I'm saying? We're not paid for by your enemy. If you got leaders, so-called black leaders, and they were appointed black, so-called black leaders by the so-called white man, and it gives you all you need to know about why that leadership has been ineffective. You know what I'm saying? Real leadership does not allow your enemy to come into all the towns you done built up, and put businesses and put places of worship and build currency. They don't allow, good leadership wouldn't allow, domestic terrorists like the Ku Klux Klan to go in there and kill all our people and burn the cities down like they did Black Wall Street and a whole bunch of other businesses we had. And they sure wouldn't take a dime from the government while the government fills your neighborhoods with heroin, and then later with crack. And we all know by now that crack was put in the American neighborhoods where so-called blacks are at, and basically fund that. They use the proceeds from that money to crack that destroyed our household, and funded an illegal war. You can't get more diabolical than that. And what did our so-called black leaders do? They took a little money, and then they turned around while it happened and did nothing. Saying that's why last week a brother went to the National Action Network, went to a rally the National Action Network had, and he was speaking up about how we are not going to vote in these upcoming elections, whether midterms or primary elections. We're not going to back the Democrat Party because 80% of Black America votes Democrat. He said that they weren't going to back the Democratic Party anymore until they give long overdue reparations and have a hate crime bill against those who commit hate crimes against Black people. And there was a couple other things the brother was mentioning. And then, of course, because this is, the National Action Network, Al Sharpton and a whole bunch of Democratic puppets, they couldn't wait to get the mic from the brother. And then Sharpton, I couldn't believe this when I heard it. Al Sharpton, Reverend Al Sharpton, actually fixed his big fat mouth to sit up there and call that brother an agent. Even Officer Hotazon looked at that and said, "What?" Y'all, I couldn't believe it when I heard it. You know what I'm saying? He actually you're right about that, brother Victor. Democratic Party is useless anyways. It's bigger enemy to our people. And hey, the Republicans are not our friends either. You know, we here in the ISUPK, we say do what Christ. I mean, and the Most High said, which is don't vote unless you vote for Jesus Christ. That's in Deuteronomy 17 and 15. So we don't back either party. We only back the Most High in the ISUPK. Damn the Republicans, damn the Democrats. But I was as shocked as anyone when Sharpton actually fixed his mouth, and that's probably why Officer Hotazon is over here smiling right now. Sharpton fixed his mouth to call that brother an agent, a paid agent. I mean, if that ain't the pot calling the kettle black, right? You know what I'm saying? I was like, how does he fix his lips to call that brother an agent when we know he's a paid CIA informant? This we know. This is public record. We know Sharpton was paid off a long time ago. You can't even get Sharpton to come amongst his people no more unless there's money waiting for him. Our people have to pay for Al Sharpton's horrible leadership, you know, in the black community. How about that? And then call that one brother an agent just because that brother wanted to finally deal with long overdue reparations and getting a hate crime bill for those who kill or harm so-called Negroes or so-called African Americans, which are really the Israelites. But it was just a further going just how terrible black leadership is. Shalom, Sister Taylor. How terrible our leadership is, man, because our leadership does nothing for us. They don't fight for the things that black people want, which is better jobs, better housing, and safe neighborhoods. And we don't want neighborhoods with drugs in it. This is just on a social level now. Of course, we in the ISUPK, we say if you want those things, just come back to the Most High. Do what the Most High, the Supreme, says, and He will take down your enemies, as He promised to do in the Scriptures. And He'll get you everything we want, which we want rulership. Reparations ain't enough. We want rulership over all these nations. That's what we want. That's what the Black, Hispanic, and Native American man and woman's mind need to be on. Getting back right with the Most High, following the teachers of Christ, and get back everything that we've been doing. You know what I'm saying? We won't forget reparations. We want leadership. We want rulership. You know what I'm saying? Reparations ain't enough. What's going on, Brother Abel? How you doing? I miss seeing you out here with us, brother. But going back to the topic at hand, when you get good leadership, which we rarely had, we got to stop turning on our leaders. The first obvious leader we turned on was Christ, Yahushua, aka Jesus Christ. We turned on him and turned him over to the Romans, to the Caesars, for them to put on the cross. We turned on Denmark Vesey and Nat Turner, who tried to hold rebellions, hold slave rebellions, and killing so-called white folks who were enslaving us and oppressing us. Now those slave rebellions were always going to fail because they didn't have the total backing of the people. That's why they went out. Our people were the ones turned on them. They turned on Denmark Vesey, turned on Nat Turner, and they wound up, so-called white man not only wound up killing them both, they ate parts of Nat Turner. Just to let you know how evil they are. They actually ate parts of Nat Turner. But every time we've had righteous leadership, we the ones to turn on them. The brother who started One West, Abba Bivens, that was a good brother who was all the way into brothers, educating brothers, and bringing brothers up as the Most High gave him a direction to do. He was the guy who basically started One West ISUPK. And what happens? He gets killed on the street. Well, he would die in the hospital, but he gets killed getting into it with some brothers who was in the Nation of Islam. We just do a bad job taking care of our leaders. You know, just like Al Sharpton has never been a real leader, Farrakhan ain't a real leader. Somebody last night had the nerve to leave a message to Black Watch saying that Commanding General Yohana and Louis Farrakhan were both great leaders. And I don't know how Commanding General Yohana felt about it. I personally, as somebody in the ISUPK, One West ISUPK, and under the stewardship of Commanding General Yohana, let's say, I was insulted by that personally. How would they dare put Farrakhan in the same breath as Commanding General Yohana as a leader? You know what I'm saying? Commanding General Yohana, let me tell you something. Since the 80s, he stood out on the streets, educating our people, helping feed and clothe our people and house people, teaching you your nationality, and giving all credit to the Most High. Farrakhan has stood there. He turned me off way back in the 90s when he called Malcolm X a traitor. But I'm thinking of all that money he took in for like the Million Man March and so forth. And he reads the Bible allegedly as much as Commanding General Yohana does, but then he turns around and gives the credit, instead of giving the credit to the Most High, he gives the credit to the Muslim god, Allah, which is a rock in Mecca. So that's the difference between Commanding General Yohana and Louis Farrakhan. Commanding General Yohana does, thus said the Lord in the Bible, step by step, and believes in the Bible and believes in the God of the Bible, stands with the God of the Bible. Farrakhan don't do that. He believes in the Bible, tries to teach it, even though a lot of what he teaches off, obviously, because he didn't get the knowledge from the ISUPK. And then he turns around and gives all the credit to the Arab man's God. That ain't no leader. That is not no leader. That is not a good leader. That is not a man of God. That's terrible leadership right there. A good leader stands on the Most High power. He doesn't sit up there and read the Bible and then give the credit to the Arab man's God. So no, don't even mention Farrakhan in the same breath to Commanding General Yohana. They are not the same. And I'm pretty sure Commanding General Yohana's father is not a white man. Can Farrakhan say that? I don't think so. Let's go on and get started. 1 Peter 2:17.
Sir, this is the book of 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 17. Honor all men. Love the brotherhood.
Love the brotherhood. Go ahead.
Fear God.
Fear the Most High.
Honor the king.
And honor the king. We fear the Most High, which is Yahweh, and we honor our king, which is Christ. And we do the works of the Most High in the name of Christ, Yahweh Shai. And this lesson is one that's important because it's going to teach us, it's getting a look at everything that happened to us from the time of the kings when we were ruling all the way to now. And a big thing that happened to us was turning against our own leaders. Understand that we the ones killed our prophets. And that's been known forever. That we put our own prophets to bed. Get us started in Jeremiah 2:30 real quick. Israel is hell to pull over because we are a hard-headed and stiff-necked people, and we'll stand with the nations and we won't stand with the Most High. And that's why we're on the bottom, because it says in Amos 3, you only have I known, he's talking to the children of Israel, you only have I known of all the families in the earth, meaning all the families, and that would include all the races on the earth. And so he's going to punish us more for our iniquities. And that's why he punishes us like we do. But time is about up because this empire is about to fall apart. Y'all ask how we feel about Donald Trump. We don't like him, but we think he's doing a wonderful job for us personally because not only is he destroying America little by little, he's bringing blacks and Hispanics together for collectively on a hatred of him. And that, as far as I'm concerned, that's one way to get on, to get more of our brothers, black and brown, into the school. So if somebody is watching and can reach out to Mr. President, tell him to continue doing a failing and horrible job and sinking America's economy, sinking the moral fiber of this country, and putting us to war with the powers that are not scared of them and are going to destroy them. They don't want Iran like they think they do. They don't. They sure don't want North Korea and Russia to get involved. We don't even talk about China either. You there, Jeremiah 2:30? Go ahead.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 2, verse 30. In vain have I smitten your children. They received no correction. Your own sword hath devoured your prophets.
Yeah, our own sword has devoured our prophets. The prophets, hey, shalom, brother Dennis, how you doing from Greenville, South Carolina? Make sure you still staying in touch. I know you've been in touch with the brothers in South Carolina. Be sure to stay in touch with them also as well, brother. We're good. We love having you here. But read that again, Jeremiah 2:30. Start from the beginning.
Sir, this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 2, verse 30. In vain have I smitten your children.
In vain he's smitten his children. In other words, he done tore our behinds up, for the iniquities of our forefathers. Go ahead.
Sir, they received no correction.
It's hard correcting so-called Negroes, man. They're so insecure. They think they're going to think they think that we're going to think different of them because of what they don't know. They would rather jump out there with a bunch of foolishness just so they can have people thinking that they're smart. Be smart enough to know that if you don't know anything, you're supposed to listen to the brothers that do know. The ISUPK know this Bible, and we know the scriptures, and we know this history. That's why when we hit them streets, y'all need to have your ears open and listening. Before y'all come back with any foolishness, just listen to what we're saying. We're trying to dumb this down as much as possible. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Sir. Your own sword hath devoured your prophets.
What does it gain killing our own people? That's my problem with the gangs. I don't necessarily hate gangs, but because I understand how they exist and why they exist. But real gangsters are supposed to protect their neighborhoods and keep other people out of it. The only thing our gangsters do is destroy our own people. They sell drugs to them, especially pregnant mothers, and they kill our own people and let foreigners come in and buy up all and open all the shops and take the money we do have out of the hood and back to their homelands and their families. Because things have to be done in order, and so-called gang members ain't in order. They won't be in order till they get on in here into the ISUPK. Are we through it? Jeremiah 2:30?
Sir.
Come on with it.
Like a destroying lion.
Like a destroying what?
Lion.
Like a destroying lion. Talking about the animal, right? All right, the king of the beasts. The lion. Like a destroying lion, we sit up there and devour our own prophets. Our prophets during the time of the prophets were our leaders. Because our prophets did the one thing they were supposed to do, and that is take care of our people and be the intercessors in ways between them and the Most High. And our people didn't want to listen to the prophets, and we got destroyed for it. Constant captivity for our foolishness and our rebelliousness. Let's go to 1 Kings, the 19th chapter, And we're going to start at the 10th verse.
Kawakad, sir. This is the book of 1 Kings, chapter 19, verse 10. And he said, I have been very jealous for Yahweh, God of hosts.
Go ahead.
For the children of Israel have forsaken thy covenant.
So we've forsaken the covenant. What have we done to forsake the covenant?
Thrown down.
We stopped following the law. What was the main law? The main one, that main commandment: thou shalt not serve any other god, idol or whatever. That was the main one. We can't. Is that? I mean, all of them. He would get pissed at us, but that main one used to drive him to the jealousy damn near. And that's why now he's driven us to jealousy. There's a whole nation of people, a whole tribe of people calling themselves us. The real Jews are black. They're the so-called African Americans. And yet, both over in the land and worldwide, the only people that people want to believe is the Jews is the so-called white man. So-called white man and woman who call themselves Jewish. They are not the Jews. They are not the bloodline Jews. The Jews are the so-called African Americans. We're going to continue all the way to 14 on that. Go ahead.
Throw down thine altars and slay thy prophets with the sword.
Thrown down the altars of the Lord and slayed the prophets with the sword. The sword was the weapon of mass destruction back then. We actually turned on our own prophets and killed them. And like I said, what good did that do us? You know what I'm saying? What purpose did that serve other than strengthen the hands of the other nations? Because we wound up serving them. Go ahead.
And I, even I only, am left, and they seek my life to take it away.
This is Jeremiah talking, is it not? No. We're in Kings, so that's more than likely. That could be Nathan. That could be a few other prophets. But go ahead.
Carl Carlson. It says that's Elijah.
Okay, Prophet Elijah. All right then. Most High in Christ. Go ahead.
Carl Carlson, verse 11. And he said, go forth and stand on the mount before Yahweh. And behold, Yahweh passed by, and a great and strong wind rent the mountains and break in pieces the rocks before Yahweh.
Okay, so the Most High was tearing down the idols as Elijah was speaking against these idols. Go ahead. This is kind of setting up when Elijah going heads up with the prophets of Baal. Go ahead.
But Yahweh was not in the wind, and after the wind an earthquake, but Yahweh was not in the earthquake.
Keep going.
Galkaza, verse 12. And after the earthquake a fire, but Yahweh was not in the fire. And after the fire a still small voice. Verse 13. And it was so, when Elijah heard it, that he wrapped his face in his mantle, and went out, and stood in the entering in of the cave. And, behold, there came a voice unto him, and said, what doest thou here, Elijah? Verse 14. And he said, I have been very jealous for Yahweh God of hosts, because the children of Israel have forsaken thy covenant, thrown down thine altars, and slain thy prophets with the sword. And I
just going, Salakia, just going all the way off. We just forgot. This is turning on the Lord in three different ways. Tearing down the altars of the Lord, which the prophets build. serving idols, and then killing your prophets. Basically killing your leadership. You know what I'm saying? Is it any wonder that we got wrath back during this time? Go ahead. Don't even finish that.
And I, even I only, am left, and they seek my life to take it away.
They actually wanted to kill Elijah. Why? Because Elijah was standing 10 toes down for the Most High. And I guess Israel thought they were just too fly back then. They didn't want to keep the Most High's laws anymore. They wanted to be like everybody else. They wanted to serve Baal. They wanted to serve Satan, basically. Because if you serve Baal or any other false god, you're serving Satan. You know what I'm saying? Baal was a man just like you were a man, but he wasn't chosen by the Lord. Why would you subject yourself to dealing with a false god and dealing with a man that the Lord didn't set up? Then the men that the Lord set up, like Elijah and like the rest of the prophets at that time, y'all either killed them or wanted to kill them. Talking about our people. Give me a 2 Chronicles 24 and 20. Just going against and rebelling against good leadership. Everyone, go ahead. 2 Chronicles 24 and 20. Good, good leadership and your leaders, basically. Leaderships that stuck with the Most High and stuck with the culture. And our people turned on them back then. We got a bad record. We're going to go over a few more of these tonight. Just a bad record of turning against our leadership, rebelling against our leadership. You know what I'm saying? It goes on even today when sisters and younger brothers rebel against the men who are supposed to be the heads of the household. You know what I'm saying? This brother doing all he can to go out there and work his slavery and keep his family and his household intact. He's got he's fighting a war, going to war, working for so-called white man, the devil, every day, and then he got to come home and fight a bigger war because the devil been in his wife's ear, and she done took to all of it, and she decides she's gonna go to war with him and try to drive him off, so she can get under the government and get all of the wants and get all the little wants and needs met. You know what I'm saying? Cheaper house, government subsidies, a chance to go to school for nursing work or what have you. Anything to have to get you out of getting in order with your man. It's just how Satan works on our people. Go ahead. 2 Chronicles 24 and 20.
This is the book of 2 Chronicles, chapter 24, verse 20. And the Spirit of God came upon Zechariah, the son of Jehoiakim.
Yeah, Zechariah is one of the prophets. He had he has his own book in the scriptures. Go ahead.
The priest, which stood above the people, and said unto them, Thus saith God, why transgress ye the commandments of Yahweh, that ye cannot prosper? Because ye have forsaken Yahweh, he hath also forsaken you.
And that goes right into why we're in this position now. You forgot about the Most High. You kept none of his high holy days, but you will keep the white man's holidays. You'll keep celebrating your birthday, which the Most High never told you to do. Just living as everyone else, and you wonder why the Most High hasn't blessed us like he promised to. Why he hasn't got us out of captivity. Why he hasn't put us up in our own land or back in our land. The reason he hasn't done that is because you all have turned on, our people has turned on the Lord. We're not even trying to find him a lot of times. You think he's in Y'all think he's in the Christian church. He ain't there. He don't co-sign none of that mess that goes on in the Christian church. It makes me happy knowing though that a lot of the brothers, you know, those that are on the way to the ISUPK, them brothers got all out of church. Something I heard about this happening a couple of times. You know, they have singles mixers at the church nowadays. Did you know that?
Wow, sir.
Singles, think about that. Singles mixers at the church. It's one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard of. A church full of single women, all steady going to that church to find a man. Going to a singles mixer, and there's no men there. Because they done all left the church. All the real ones. They are in the ISUPK, or they're on the way into the ISUPK, like young man Dennis here. Yeah, go ahead, Brother Victor. He said that church used to make me want to unalive myself. Well, I tell you what, Ak, it's a good thing that you went out. You came out of it. Came right here where the Lord needed you to be. Right here in the ISUPK. As long as you don't try to do harm to yourself, the Lord's going to be with you, and He's going to grow you abundantly. All right. It's one thing He's going to do. Did we get verse 21 there?
Wow, sir.
Go ahead.
Verse 21. And they conspired against him, and stoned him with stones at the commandment of the king in the court of the house of Yahweh.
So they stoned who was Zechariah, right? So they stoned them on the commandment of the king, and not our king, obviously, but our people were so quick to turn on their own. You know what I'm saying? All it does is some heathen tell you to stone one of your prophets, and so you do it. Y'all have got, our people need to be retrained to figure out who's on our side and who's with us, and just deal with him. Quit worrying about politicians. Quit worrying about the so-called black leaders. Quit worrying about heathens, non-Israelites. You should automatically forget what they have to say. Listen to the Most High. Learn about the Most High in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Hey, shalom, Sister Shemaiah. How you doing? Sis? Take me to Matthew 23 and 37. Gonna get a little bit of understanding, just a little bit more of how we turn on leadership and only trust the adversary. You know what I'm saying? And it's the one thing that's killing us, because y'all want to trust the adversary or men like Al Sharpton or Louis Farrakhan, who are set up by the adversary. You Black, Hispanic, or Native American, the only man you should trust is our King Yahushua, aka Jesus Christ. And I'm talking about the real Christ, not the Christ they teach you about in the church. You know what I'm saying? You want to learn how to serve Christ, you get on in the ISUPK under Commander General Yohana and learn how to serve Christ. Go ahead.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 23, verse 37. O Jerusalem, Jerusalem, thou that killest the prophets.
Thou that what?
Killest the prophets.
Jerusalem, thou that killed your own prophets. Go ahead.
And stonest them which are sent unto thee.
These brothers were sent to us by the Most High, and y'all killed every one of them. Go ahead.
How often would I have gathered thy children together, even as a hen gathereth her chickens unto her wings, and ye would not.
Was that it?
Okay.
Our people have our own leaders. We got our own God. We don't need to serve any other God. We don't need to serve the Christian God, which is a bold-faced lie and a false God. We don't need to serve the Muslim God. We don't need to serve the Hindus' God or the Buddhist people God. Serve your God. You know what I'm saying? Serve the God of Israel, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You know what I'm saying? The Lord has always promised to protect us, and He's kept up with His promise all the way from the beginning. Do me a favor, read that scripture in Matthew again, 23:37.
Sir, this is the book of Matthew, chapter 23, verse 37. O Jerusalem, Jerusalem, thou that killest the prophets, and stonest them which are sent unto thee.
Kill the prophets and stone the ones sent unto you. In other words, the devil or white man didn't even have to do it. You did it. And all you did was strengthen the hands of the evildoers. That's all you did. Go ahead.
How often would I have gathered thy children together, even as a hen gathereth her chickens under her wings, and ye would not.
Okay. Just like a hen, when a hen is gathering her chicks under what is she doing? When a hen, which is a mother chicken, a female chicken, is gathering her chicks under her, what is she doing? She's giving them protection. She's giving them protection. She's giving them direction. The protection and direction you don't get running under somebody other than your parents in this case. Your parent is, your hen, you might well say, is the Heavenly Father. Your Heavenly Father. He's the one that's going to protect us even today. Because He, unlike you or unlike our people, is loyal and He keeps His promises. Let's go ahead to Acts 7:52. We're basically reading about how we turned on our own prophets and our own leaders, and then in a little bit, I'm going to go over how each one of Christ's disciples died, because we played a big hand in that too. We played a big hand in killing Christ because we turned on Him. Now, ultimately, it was Herod that did it under the authority of Caesar, but we had a hand in that too. We're not blameless in that. One thing that we're going to do is we have a bloody history of turning against the men who were here for us. Christ only did the will of the Most High, and He was sent specifically for the lost sheep, the house of Israel. And yet Israel couldn't wait to deliver Him into the hands of our enemies. We just got a bloody history with it, and we're going to go into a little of that today. Go ahead. We're in Acts 7:52.
Sir, this is the book of Acts, chapter 7, verse 52. Which of the prophets have not your fathers persecuted?
So ask that again.
Which of the prophets have not your fathers persecuted?
One more time.
Which of the prophets have not your fathers persecuted?
Which of the prophets have your fathers not persecuted? In other words, we were the ones that killed our own prophets, our own leaders. Why? Because our leaders were trying to follow the Most High and do what the Most High said, instead of following after some heathen king and trying to follow after the ways of the world. He was trying to gather us up and make us a nation again, redeem us, so we can ultimately rebel against the Romans. That was the plan for everybody that's in the church and think he was trying to gather all nations. No, he was trying to gather all Israelites out of those nations. He was not trying to give salvation to anybody except the children of Israel. This is just the facts. Are we still in you still in Acts 7:52? Go ahead and finish.
And they have slain them which shewed before of the coming of the just one.
Now keep in mind, the book of Acts is probably the best history book in the New Testament. So it was known all through history that we were the ones who killed our own prophets. We are so out of order as a people, always going against our own leadership and the men who do us well. The fact that Christ was sent for us and we turned on him is just more, it goes even more into our own ignorance and our own rebelliousness, our hard-headedness and our stiff-neckedness to want to follow Satan and not follow the Most High. We still in Acts 7:52? Go ahead.
Of whom ye have been now the betrayers and murderers.
Betrayers and murderers of our own people. I mean, we had some leaders that I wouldn't call them our best leaders, but hell, we killed them too. Wasn't it brothers that shot up Malcolm X? Was it not?
So I'm not sure.
Yeah, it was members of the Nation of Islam that murdered Malcolm at the Audubon Ballroom in '65. Blew him to hell with his wife and his 4 kids right there. How many of our own leaders did we turn? I mentioned Denmark Vesey. I mentioned Nat Turner, who, the slaves, the very slaves that they were trying to liberate, told massa on them, so they killed them. The Black Panther Party, the original Black Panther Party. Wasn't it brothers on the inside who had joined up with COINTELPRO and sold them brothers out? We got a long history and a bloody history of going against our own leadership. You know what I'm saying? Now, we in the ISUPK, we're not afraid, you know what I'm saying? Because we know the Most High is with us. So we're not worried about y'all turning on us simply because we're not doing anything illegal other than trying to fix Black and Hispanic people. That might be the only thing close to illegal the ISUPK does. You know what I'm saying? Fix the nuclear household of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You do that, you're gonna be labeled a terrorist in this captivity. Because the only thing our enemy wants us to do is die. Serve them until death, strengthen their empire, and strengthen their rulership, and then ultimately die. That's what our enemy wants for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And many of us, the more of us he can put on the dope, the more of us he can put in prison, the more of us he can put in ICE detention camps, the more of us he can put on reservations, the better. That's the plan. If we can't make any more money and strengthen the hand of us, they want us dead. And every day you're reading about it. Every day you're reading about them killing, so-called police killing our people in the street because the government gives them the green light to do so. If we're finished with Acts, let's go to Romans 11:3. Let's get it right from the Apostle Paul now.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 11, verse 3. Lord, they have killed thy prophets and digged down thine altars, and I am left alone, and they seek my life.
Okay, so even at this point, with them trying to wipe the Most High out of existence, our people, so we can better serve Agrippa and serve the Caesars. It's not enough. It's not enough. Now they want to continue to take the lives of our own prophets and our and Christ's disciples. We all know what eventually happened to the Apostle Paul. And Paul, internally he's fearing for his life, but he stood for the Lord, did he not? I mean, he did better than Peter in the end, because Peter, denied him. In the face of death, he denied Christ. Paul didn't. For a guy who was once an oppressor to our people, because Paul did grow up a Pharisee, and he worked for the Romans. He worked as an officer for the Romans, basically an executioner of our people. But then Christ turned him, of course, by the time you read Acts about the 26th chapter, Christ turned Paul, gave Paul life a new meaning. Let him know you going to war with my people. You are basically kicking against the pricks, like he said. You're doing damage to yourself. You're not going to be doing damage to us. You're going to be basically killing yourself. And Paul repented and became probably Christ's strongest soldier. But he's internally fearing for his life right now because of our history, our bloody history of turning on our own people. And to this day, go ahead. Have you finished that verse?
Okay.
Take me to 1 Thessalonians 2:15. Then we'll kind of go into what happened to Christ's disciples. Y'all that are in the chat watching, it's supposed to be 7 people watching. In the chat, I want y'all to put down as many of Yahushua's disciples as you can remember. Just go ahead and type. See how many of you brothers and sisters are with us right now. Tap the names of some of Christ's disciples. Are you in 1 Thessalonians 2:15?
Sir.
Go on ahead and give it to me.
And 15?
Yeah, 2:15. 1 Thessalonians 2:15.
Sir. This is the book of 1 Thessalonians, chapter 2, verse 15. Who both killed the Lord Yahushua and their prophets.
Who killed Christ, Yahushua, or for the purpose of edification, Jesus Christ, and killed their prophets. Go ahead.
And have persecuted us. And they please not Yahweh.
They didn't please Yahweh by killing Christ and killing the prophets. None of that pleased Yahweh. Go ahead.
And are contrary to all men.
Contrary to all the brothers of Israel, basically. Because that's who Christ was sent for. Tells you that right in the books of the Gospels. He was not sent unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So you don't get too bugged out over where it says all men, because all men didn't have a covenant with the Most High, but the nation of Israel did. So we know who Christ was here for. We know who Christ died for, and we know who he's going to come back and redeem when he comes back. Which I pray that it's soon, don't you?
Go.
That's what I'm saying. I pray for Christ to come tomorrow. Come tomorrow, make war with these nations, so we can finally be done with this old disgusting Sodomite empire that Esau done built, and then put all the nations over us. But no, we pray for that, and we know that day is coming soon. All right. Bloody history our people have with turning on our own leadership, man. and we're gonna get into a little of it right now. We're dealing with the death of some of Christ's disciples. I see y'all didn't put anything in the comment section, so I'm gonna assume y'all either with me or y'all just away. Y'all just away from your screen at this time. Hey, Shalom, Mike, how you doing? Brother Charles, good to see you, brother. Is it too much out there?
Which way?
As far as the weather and everything?
No.
Surprisingly, I'm kind of surprised we still getting the cold weather. I'm like,
Oh yeah,
we're in the springtime now. Yeah,
Texas for you.
yeah. We got the most schizophrenic weather in the whole world. Where are you from originally?
South Dallas.
South Dallas.
I went
Okay.
to Lincoln.
Okay. We'll tell you a story one day about a young lady I was dealing with when I was in high school. I went to high school for a little while nearby, and had a little chick that I liked up there at Lincoln. Story for another day, but I got nothing but nice things to say about Lincoln, because I do think the prettiest the Chudite sisters back in the day all went to Lincoln, man.
Oh, Lincoln and Madison. Those are the only two we had.
Say that again, Lincoln and Madison.
Lincoln and Madison.
I never did deal with Madison too much.
Yeah,
but
we had better Lincoln.
oh, did Lincoln have some marvelous sisters, man, as far as physically. Now, even at that age, they could have been demons. I don't know, but the physically they passed the eye test. That much I'll say. Let me see. Let me get Zabalawan's question here. Could it be safe to say that we deserve this captivity for what our people did to Christ? Yeah, absolutely. We can definitely say that, but at the same time, because so-called white man and the nations are all evil as hell, they took it too far. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't supposed to be as terrible as it turned out to be. You know, feeding our babies to alligators. No. None of that was part of the deal. You know, the white man does making furniture out of our skin and things. No. And we ain't gonna even talk about all the madness they used to do to our sisters. You know what I'm saying? So, though we deserved to get captivity, even just for nothing else, just for turning on Yahushua, we deserve that. For many generations, we deserve that. But still, we're gonna get redeemed either way. Redemption is coming either way. Give me before we get into the death of Christ's disciples, give me Romans 11:26. This is what I'm talking about when I'm saying we're gonna get redeemed either way. We have deserved captivity for turning on Christ and turning on our real leaders, the prophets. But either way, because of the blood covenant and because we're the only ones who had righteousness in the beginning, we're going to be redeemed. Go ahead.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 11, verse 26. And so all Israel shall be saved.
Say that again.
And so all Israel shall be saved.
One more time. I think the brothers weren't listening over here that are over on this side of the city. One more time.
And so all Israel shall be saved.
Go ahead.
As it is written.
As it is written, meaning it was written in these scriptures that we were going to be saved. It's over in the book of Isaiah. Eventually, we were all going to be saved. Go ahead.
There shall come out of Zion the deliverer.
A deliverer. That deliverer is Christ. He's going to be the one coming back in this time as well. Go ahead.
And shall turn away ungodliness from Jacob.
And what is the ungodliness? What's the ungodliness? It's everything we've been talking about this class. What's the ungodliness?
Sin.
Not just what particular sin? False God worship and idol worship. Drugs. Killing your brother. Adultery, sleeping with your brother's wife. That's your ungodliness right there. Marrying the other nations. That's your ungodliness. We talked about last week about that sister who went to Africa, Tanzania, with her little white, so-called white lover. She's putting up this whole front, This whole performance, jumping into this devil's arms, accepting marriage proposal, walking in front of a white lion, which was total AI. And then next thing you know, a few hours later, she's dead.
Oh.
And of course, he killed her.
She was hanging too, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
You tell me this. What sister is going to hang herself right after a marriage proposal and a birthday celebration? That make any sense to you?
Not at all.
No. That so-called white man killed that sister. I'm 99.9% sure of that. And he can't even leave right now because he's still over there in Tanzania answering questions with that. I don't know if they've arrested him just yet, but they done took his passport. He there until they can figure this out. Or at least until Esau can figure out a way to give him a pass for doing it so, they can close the investigation. Go ahead.
Sorry, sir. And how do you hang yourself? I mean, you ain't got
I mean, cats do it in prison. I do believe that brother who played for the Patriots, I believe he killed himself, and hung himself. It's possible, but that sister had no reason to self-terminate.
No.
You know what I'm saying? She had no reason to do that. Hey, warrior, brother Jaquel, what's going on? Come, I ain't heard from you in a while. Question: will you say being in the U.S. military is against the truth? Well, here's the thing. Were you in the military first before you started looking into us? Or is that something you're interested in doing? Yeah, Khan, Lahab Karash, he killed her. I'm pretty sure of that. Like I said, I'm 99.9% sure. Sister Shemaiah said I have to go back and catch that lesson with Ashley Janae. That was what I taught on last week, sis. Just get my Brotherhood class from last week. It was a good class too. Not trying to pat myself on the back, but because the Most High done gave me the game and Commander General Yohanan showed us how to put this game on out there, I think I'm an improving teacher. Put it like that. Catch that lesson, man. But Brother Jaquel, give me a call and we'll go over the whole thing with the military. All right, brother? You were in the military and then found us, you wouldn't be the first. Just put it like that. But now that you found us and you found the truth, you got no reason to join Esau's military.
Jaquel?
Yeah.
Is that my son? My son. JHAKEYL.
What's his last name?
Salter?
Nah.
Oh, okay.
That ain't you.
Okay.
Oh yeah, sis, it was an okay lesson. Now I try to show some kind of humility. I'm not gonna sit up here and appoint myself one of the best teachers in Israel. Sister, you married one of the best teachers in Israel. Yeah. Captain Tazariak is an outstanding teacher. But and I learned from him, so I'm proud to say that too. Okay, but let's go over the death of Christ's disciples real quick. And the role that our people played into that. Take me to Matthew 16 and 24 real quick. Brother Jaquel says, yes, I was in the military before, but as you know, I've been having personal issues going on that we talked about. Yeah, come on. Yeah, give me a call tonight, Doc. For sure. Give me a call tonight. Go further into that. Now, don't leave the truth just because you was military once. Paul was military once. The Apostle Paul was military. And Christ called him out of that. So Christ is calling you out of military, anything American right now. Don't turn your back on him. Okay? All right, let's get on back on point, brother. Zabalawan said, on someone who's military, is it okay to call them a traitor? Because I always see them as that due to war crimes they have done in Latin America. If he's military after joining the truth, then yeah, he is a traitor. Put it like that. I mean, that goes back to Acts. Get that scripture real quick. Hold where you at in Matthew. Get Acts 17 and 30 real quick. Y'all that are asking about the military, just this scripture's for you. This scripture is for y'all. Got it? Go ahead.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 17, verse 30. At the times of this ignorance, God winked at.
Okay, the time of y'all being ignorant of the truth, the Lord winked at that. It was almost like he's up there saying, oh, silly Negroes and silly Hispanics, so-called. Instead of looking for me, y'all trying to find survival in this kingdom and think the only way y'all can do it is to join, is be one with this kingdom. Go ahead.
But now commandeth all men everywhere to repent.
Okay, so now that y'all know that the Lord don't want you in Esau's military or any other nation's military other than your own, now that y'all know it's a sin, don't join up with these military while you're trying to find the truth. It's almost like I also pull this out with brothers who come to the truth but are married to heathen wives. I hope it's a couple of you brothers watching right now. That scripture is for you too. You know, you didn't know or care that you were sinning. You just saw this little old so-called white woman or this so-called Asian woman or this so-called African woman or this so-called East Indian woman. And, you know, you caught feelings, you got married. Okay, whatever. But now that you know you're in the truth, you accept the truth, you're following the Most High, and you've read Exodus 19 and 5 and 6, as well as Deuteronomy 7 and 3 through 6, and a whole bunch of other scriptures in the Bible that outlaws interracial marriages or even interracial dating. Now that you know that, simply don't pick up another. It's a brother, I was hoping he was watching. It's a brother right now interested in the school. And one thing that's stopping him from coming all the way in is he got a heathen wife. Come into the school and get right. Your heathen wife is your problem. You know, keep that heathen wife. She's supposed to serve you. Just, you know, be smart. Don't bring her up here during the Sabbath service. Don't bring her here for high holy days or feast days. You know, don't bring her to the Passover. Don't do anything like that. Let her be for you. Get you a Israelite wife on the side. Just want to be righteous. Let me see. Come on, Brother Jaquel. You didn't even think about that. Hey, the Most High got the answers for you. All you got to do is ask. You know, shit's just crazy right now. I got mouths to feed, boss. Yeah, come on. I know just what you're going through. I got 2 kids. So, you know, they're grown now. 19 and one about to turn 16, but still. Don't wait to get on in this truth because we can help. You know what I'm saying? We got whatever you need. All you got to do is follow the Most High and do the work, and the Lord will look out for you and your kids and your women, no matter how many of them you got. According to 1 Corinthians, they are they're covered just for being with you. Even if they're not all the way believing yet, they covered just being with you. And if they can't rock with you because you want to serve the Lord, they'll leave, you let them go, and the Lord will get your wife to replace her with. It's not a big thing, nothing to worry about. Yeah, Brother Jaquel, let me hear from you tonight or tomorrow. You don't sweat anything. We got you. All right. Go back to Matthew 16:24 for me. Now the Lord winks at our ignorance, but now that we know, we're no longer ignorant. That's all ignorance means. It just means you don't know. I know in black families we treat that word ignorant or ignorant like it's the worst thing for a nigga to be. If you don't know, you don't know. Yeah, before this truth, I was ignorant on a lot of shit. It's a lot, forgive my French, but you live and you learn. I think the Most High I'm no longer ignorant. All right, Matthew 16:24. Go ahead.
So this is the book of Matthew, chapter 16, verse 24. Then said Yahushua unto his disciples, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me.
Now, when the Most High is saying, when Christ is saying, take up your cross and follow me, all that simply means, we all know the cross was just a method the Romans used to execute the Jews back then. We know this. And that's why Christ was carrying one, on his back right before they hung him on it. The parable there is, if you're going to follow Christ being in this work, you got to be prepared to die on some level. You know what I'm saying? You got to sacrifice for the Most High. You will almost be martyred at that time. That's what the scripture is going into the great tribulation. We're going to have a great tribulation right before we get out of captivity. Yeah, we're going through it hard right now. Before the end, we're going to go through this thing harder. You look on the streets, how many of our people do you see on the streets? And it's not like they're lazy. A lot of them just had a job, got laid off, the bills caught them, and all of a sudden, bam, on the street. Because there ain't no jobs no more. These damn politicians, even before Trump, they did the absolute worst job with building jobs. You know what I'm saying? Closing down all the factories. People depending on that. Go ahead, brother.
If I could, sir. And with Judah, we want to be individual. I guess it's called it more family oriented.
Right.
But our women individuals and independent. And so it's even harder because we're not coming together.
Come. That is exactly right. That is exactly right. A unified nation will always be the nation that ain't unified. Got to come on one accord. Read Matthew 16:24 again.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 16, verse 24. Then Yahushua said unto his disciples, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. Okay,
now he's talking strictly to his disciples. I asked y'all that are watching to name some of Christ's disciples. Who can do that? Y'all that are following along, and you couple of brothers that are here, name some of the disciples.
Matthew, Mark.
Say that again.
Matthew, Mark, John.
Yeah, Matthew would count as a disciple. Yeah. John. John would be one. Go ahead. Hey, shalom, Sister Parah. How you doing, sis? Always good to talk to you. Okay, we got John, we got Matthew. Who else? Because for this class in, I'm going to let y'all know how they died. Some of them, the Bible records. Yeah, Peter's one, Paul. We talked about Paul already. So technically, though he was definitely a disciple, we already talked about him already. But yeah, Peter was definitely one.
Luke, Judah.
Luke, no. By Judah, you mean Judas, right?
Judas, I'm sorry.
Judas Iscariot,
Yeah, so Iscariot.
He'd be one. Or you could have been talking about Jude. He was one too. The book of Jude.
No,
yeah.
I meant Judah.
Judas. Yeah, Judas. I don't know if I should mention him because he killed himself.
Yeah.
Which after what he did, you kind of appreciate that he did. Judas was sorry as hell. Any more? It's a few y'all ain't named yet. Okay, none of you named
James.
huh?
James?
Yeah, which James?
Christ's brother.
Con, he was one. There was actually two James.
Oh, okay.
One was John's brother and Zebedee's son, and the other one was James the Just, which was the brother of Christ. Anyone else? Nobody mentioned Matthias.
Thomas.
Thomas. Thomas was one. Nobody mentioned Jude, aka Thaddeus. Nobody mentioned Simon. Nobody mentioned Bartholomew. You did mention Thomas, though, didn't you?
Thomas.
Yeah. Andrew, Philip.
That's right.
Reason I bring up, we're gonna go over all 12 of these disciples. Only 2 of them's death is recorded in the scriptures, though, if I ain't mistaken. Give me Acts 12 and 2.
So you said Acts what?
12 and 2.
So there's the book of Acts, chapter 12, verse 2. And he killed James, the brother of John, with the sword.
Killed James, brother of John, with the sword, basically. Go ahead.
Verse 3. And because he saw it pleased the Jews, he proceeded further to take Peter also.
Oh, my goodness. Now, think about that. Herod is basically having these crackers kill the disciples. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And who did it please? Read it again. Who did it please?
The Jews.
Think about that. It goes back to what I was saying. We got a bloody history of destroying our own leaders. I mean, James. We're talking about James, the brother of John, is sitting up here getting killed by Herod, and because it pleases the Jews see their own followers of Christ, the disciples at that time, get killed. He say, "I'm gonna get Peter's ass too." But no, Herod stabbed. One account says that he was had a sword ran through him. The other account said he was actually beheaded, which I guess you could do that with a sword too. But there we go, right there in Jerusalem. Go ahead.
When it says the Jews, sir, is that the Pharisees or just the population of us?
The public population, basically.
Okay.
Pharisees could have been mixed in that, but it was just mainly our people who wanted to be like the Romans. They listened to the so-called white man come in there and sell them on, take them over, and then in no time sell them on one world government, just like they're doing right now, trying to sell us on a one world government where we all believe the same, we all love one another equally, which is false. It's never ended. I mean, it's never manifested. It's not like they were crucifying other nations back then. No, the crucifixion was just for the Jews. It tell you that in history. They didn't do any other nation that way but the Jews. Whether it was crucifixion, they did it all types of ways. I got it right here in the breakdown. Peter was hung upside down and crucified. Andrew they put him on a crucifixion sideways because he was on an X when they killed him. They had the nastiest ways of doing the Jews, man. But yeah, Philip, he got that right. But yeah, should I go to Judas? Because that's the one disciple I really don't feel some type of way about it. You know what I'm saying? I guess for edification purposes, go ahead. Matthew 27:5. Just for the purpose of edification.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 27, verse 5. And he cast down the pieces of silver in the temple and departed and went and hanged himself.
He did what?
Hanged himself.
The most honorable thing Judas ever did in his life was just take his own life. That sister in Tanzania didn't hang herself, but Judas hung himself. You know what I'm saying? And he did that right in Jerusalem because he knew he was because it said on to him that he was a coward and a lowlife, turning on the one king we really had, Yahushua, aka Jesus Christ. So he took his own life. Only thing honorable Judas Iscariot ever did. Got a few other. Go to. Do I want that? No, I don't want Stephen. I don't want that. And we already did James. Now the rest of these are accounts written in history, in what they call now Christian traditions. These are not biblical accounts, but they can be researched. I have, and I know that Saint Matthias, he was stoned in Jerusalem. Simon actually saw it in half in Persia or Syria at the time. Jude, aka Thaddeus, they shot him full of arrows. Martyrdom was tough. So you brothers that come into the UPK, we're not saying you're gonna be martyred in this type of way, but understand you're gonna be an enemy of this. Walking, like we said in the earlier scripture in Matthew 16 and 24, when we said, when Christ said his disciples must take up his cross, this is kind of what it goes into. Kind of go, it's martyrdom in a way. So that's why we look honorable on brothers who come into the ISUPK, because it is possible. I personally don't think it's gonna pop off like that right away, but there's at least a 5% chance this is our future in about 10 or 15 years. Some of these brothers were martyred well after Christ. Saint Matthew died by the sword. He was killed in Ethiopia. They speared Thomas. They actually ran a spear through him in India. They beheaded Bartholomew. In what they called back then Anatole. Today they would call it Turkey. Philip was also killed in Turkey. He was stoned. And Andrew, like I said, he was hung up on an X sideways in Greece. And we know what happened with Peter, crucified upside down. Tells you about that in the book of St. John. And most of it was us turning on our own leaders. You empowered somebody like Herod to go after all you leaders. The only one that lived kind of a long natural life was John, who they put him in prison for years out there in the island of Patmos, and then exiled him, where he died in Ephesus. Yeah, John the Revelator, same guy. He also wrote the letters to John, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd John. That's him. and Revelations, and of course his own book, the book of St. John. Give me 2 Timothy 3 and 12.
2 Timothy verse.
2 Timothy 3 and 12.
Kyle, sir, this book of 2 Timothy, verse 3. Chapter 3, verse 12. Yea, and all that will live godly in Christ Yahushua shall suffer persecution.
Suffer what now?
Persecution.
Hey, it's not going to be easy. It's why we prophesied go through a great tribulation. Because we follow Christ, we're putting ourselves in position to be persecuted. Our own people, if they don't learn our lesson, they're going to be the ones outing us to the so-called white man. And we know who Herod is of this day. That's Donald Trump all the way. You know what I'm saying? We know the true master is whoever, the Illuminati that he serves, but Trump is definitely a wannabe king over all people. He ain't satisfied with just the Jews. He want to be king over everybody. Yeah, he's trying right now to get a third term, which he ain't supposed to get, obviously. You know what I'm saying? Take me to Matthew 5 and 44.
Come, this book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 44. For I say unto you, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, and pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you.
Now I'm saying that's for our own people, basically. Our own people that turn on us. When Christ was up there on the cross, he was basically begging the Most High, forgive them, for they not know what they do. They didn't have his wisdom. And I'm sure even in their stupidity, if they knew that all this was coming to them in their time and for all their generations in the future, I'm sure they would have stopped for a minute and thought about this bullshit. Because we are in hell right now, y'all. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we sit up here worried about things we ain't even supposed to be worried about. Right now, I got to leave here and see if I can, by any miracle, I can get some more water for my apartment. I'm about drunk up all my water. But I'm not supposed to be I'm not supposed to be worried about that. I'm not supposed to be making life decisions over drinking freaking water, right? We just had Brother Jaquel say that he's on the comments talking about having trouble with job. I'm talking to that brother tonight. Most I will. Because hell, I want him to come in this truth here just like Brother Charles here. Start getting right. Start getting him and his family together. And so we can walk that walk together, man. All of us. All right. Did we read Matthew 5:44? Or we already read it? Okay, we're going to go ahead and close out. We're going to get our closeout scripture, 1 John 4 and 20. And then we're going to get the security announcements.
This is the book of 1 John, chapter 4, verse 20. If a man say, I love God, and hateth his brother, he is a liar. For he that loveth not his brother whom he hath seen, how can he love God whom he hath not seen?
This is pretty much a conviction of our people that we went over today. We killed all our prophets. We killed all of Christ's soldiers, aka disciples, and then wonder why generations later we're in the mess we're in. We were dispersed. to all nations, traded to all nations via the transatlantic slave trade, mainly over here to the west, the so-called New World. And we're going through it every which way. I mean, we're going through it financially, going through it health-wise, having the hardest time raising our kids right, dealing with our women correctly. All this comes from turning on our leaders, our real leaders, and accepting puppet leaders like Al Sharpton, who, like I mentioned last week, had the nerve to fix his big fat mouth and call a brother who was just wanting reparations and black hate crime bill, had the nerve to call him an agent. Think about Al Sharpton calling somebody an agent. Pot, meat, kettle. You know what I'm saying? Your ass is a known CIA informant.
Big Al Sharpton.
Right. They got records of that cat coming in there in his suit and cowboy hat and cowboy boots. And this was back when Al was about my size, damn near. And with the pompadour and all that, going in there to spill his damn guts and sing for the damn Central Lack of Intelligence Agency. And got the nerve years later to fix his mouth and call his brother, which maybe the brother had, shouted what he shouted without, with zeal and not a whole lot of knowledge. But he's right to shout it. Basically telling, Democrats, since our people still vote mainly 80% Democrat, basically saying if the Democrats want their vote, they're going to have to come off the bullshit and give them some tangibles, give them their reparations, this, that, and the third. Again, the brother said it with zeal, not necessarily intelligence, but he wasn't wrong for saying it. And then Sharpton got the nerve to, his peoples up there took the mic from him, couldn't wait to take the mic from him, and then he had the nerve to call him an agent. Man, if Al Sharpton don't sit his ass down somewhere, fixing his mouth, call somebody else an agent. I couldn't believe that when I heard. I even made a Facebook post about it. But anyway, that's gonna end our class this week. We're gonna do it again next Tuesday, the Brotherhood class. You know how ISUPK Dallas do it. We're gonna rock this thing out until Christ returns. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no stopping the ISUPK. You know what I'm saying? This is the Lord's school, and we prove it every week. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the class over to Precinct Officer Hadazan for security announcements.
This is the ISUPK security announcement. We are the ISUPK Star of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They're here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers chapter 18, verse 21. Malachi chapter 3, verse 8 through 10. Means tenth in the Hebrew. Ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund. A free will offering for priests is not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations.
That's the Feast of First Fruits.
The upcoming holy convocation will be the Feast of Fresh Fruits.
June 2nd.
On June 2nd. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black, boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. And with that, we'll now be giving a courtesy salute to the birds. May of Israel, Man Shabbat, Imajim, Barak, Yahweh Hashem Barakatah. We'll now be giving a courtesy salute to the sisters, men of Israel, Amav Shabbat, Imajim, Barak, Yahweh Shamar Adam. And with that, class dismissed.
Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please, go to ISUPK.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.